Opus 4.7 just dropped, and this thing is the first Claude release in a while that genuinely changes how autonomous coding runs. No demos today, just the straight facts, the benchmarks, and the gotchas so you can decide whether to upgrade. So if we look at this table right here, we can see Opus 4.7 compared against Opus 4.6, GPT-5.4, and Gemini 3.1 Pro. And we can see that Opus 4.7 is the king of many of these categories. It looks like from the 4.6 to the 4.7, there was a jump in every single category except for the cybersecurity vulnerability reproduction, as well as the agentic search capability. But in every other category, we had a jump in the Opus 4.7 release. GPT-5.4 is still king of many of the categories, including agentic terminal coding and the graduate level reasoning as well. And if we look at where the most drastic jumps are from Opus 4.6 to 4.7, we can see that the visual reasoning jump was drastic, especially with this no tools visual reasoning. And then if we go up to the actual agentic coding, we can see that there was also a big bump in the coding capability. So those are the two biggest upgrades when it comes to the Opus 4.7. I believe that these tests were done by Anthropic, so take it with a little bit of a grain of salt here. I would like to see what these benchmarks actually look like if they were run by a third-party reviewer, and maybe see what some of the other tests look like. But nonetheless, Opus 4.7 looks like it's king in a lot of these categories. So if we go to the Claude website, they released an article about the upgrades that Opus 4.7 has and the upgrades that they decided to talk about. As you can see, they follow instructions more closely. So they're basically saying you don't need to repeat or emphasize the directions. You just need to give them once, and you need to give them very clearly. And it says reread any instructions Claude already has from you. So the previous project instructions, you may have already stated these things previously, and it's going to remember that moving forward. Opus 4.7 is apparently better at reading images at full resolution. So what this means is that small details come through more clearly. So for example, chart labels, values in a busy table, fine print in a screenshot. So this applies to anywhere that Claude is used. Claude AI chat, cowork task, Claude in Chrome. Claude 4.7 also thinks through problems at the right depth. This means that instead of the previous 4.6 where you had to enable extended thinking, now Opus 4.7 can decide for itself, and apparently it's pretty good at it. So for example, simple questions come back faster automatically. Hard questions still go into depth. So no more choosing. This is just automatic now. Love to see that. It's also better at document and spreadsheet work. It's more selective about searching the web and using connectors. Opus 4.7 reaches for those tools less often than 4.6 did. So it's more likely to answer from what it already has than to search or pull from a connector on its own. Okay, that's interesting. So what this means for you is that before you prompt, decide whether the answer needs a specific source. If it lives on the web or in your files and tools, name it in your prompt. If not, leave it out and Claude answers faster from what it already knows. Interesting. Apparently 4.6 was grabbing tools like crazy and maybe spending up those tokens unnecessarily, so they pulled back on that ability and is making 4.7 figure out the task without using these tools, burning through tokens, because as we know, Anthropic has been dealing with a token usage issue. So if we look at the Claude API docs, we can see stuff that we just went over. Vision got a serious bump. It now reads through images at up to roughly 4 megapixels. Extended thinking is now adaptive. Flip it on once and the model decides when to think longer or answer faster. Plus, there's a new extra high effort knob if your scripting agent runs and need a middle ground between high and max. So if we look here at the updated token counting, the tokenizer has changed. Some text can count up to 1 to 1.3 times more tokens. Doesn't sound fun, but it's the price of better text handling, so you must budget for it. Claude 4.6 was already expensive, and now we have an even more expensive Claude model. I guess this makes sense. This is something that you have to expect with the high usage that we have already seen. So not super surprised by that, but the most expensive model just got even more expensive. As we can already see from this article, it's already live on Amazon Bedrock's upgraded inference stack, available in the usual US, EU, and APAC regions. AWS is pushing adaptive thinking there as well, so enterprise teams can just pick it up from the dropdown and go. And also, GitHub Copilot is phasing out Opus 4.5 and 4.6 in favor of 4.7 for Pro Plus, Business, and Enterprise. There's a temporary 7.5x premium request multiplier until the end of April, so plan accordingly if this is something that you... So if you're going to be using Opus 4.7, there's 4 things that you need to do. So that is Opus 4.7 in plain English. This just released today. They have better coding stamina, sharper eyesight for those visuals, stricter instruction following, and it's already in the major platforms like AWS and GitHub. It got even more expensive, so that is something to keep in mind. If you are on a budget, maybe this isn't the right model for you, but I envision that eventually these models will get cheaper. If you got some value out of this video, smash the like button, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching.